Well, this morning, let's go back again to 2000. We've done another 2000 film a few days ago. But this is a film called Castaway. Now, Castaway is a drama. It's about survival and isolation, and it was directed and produced by Robert Zemeckis and starring Tom Hanks. It's a very interesting film. Very Chuck Noland is his character. Works for FedEx as an executive systems analyst of a, well, quite badly run company, really, troubleshooting workflow problems all around the world. He's quite obsessed with time boxing and stage gate processes, and, well, he has to be. His company's process is disastrously on the critical path constantly, but he's used to it. He's made the whole job out of systemically bad risk management. Anyway, it makes a good film. So on one occasion, in the middle of Christmas dinner, he's called upon to urgently go to Malaysia, but the FedEx cargo jet that he's travelling on crashes in a storm into the Pacific Ocean. Chuck is the only survivor thanks to his life raft. As he's washed up on an uninhabited and uncharted island, he rescues 11 FedEx packages. It soon becomes apparent that he can't attract the attention of ships, and he's going to be on that island for quite some time. He finds food, he builds a dwelling, but he's remarkably inept at any of these things. Although he knows the principles of whatever it is that he has to do to survive, he hasn't got the detailed practical experience to perform any of these tasks efficiently or effectively. And this goes on and on, but he has the time, so all he can do is improve his survival skills. Opening the washed-up FedEx packages, he finds random items which may or may not be useful to him. Ice skates, for example, and a sports ball. One package, however, he decides not to open, and he keeps it by. It's got some little angel wings on it. At one point, when trying to make a fire again, he cuts his hand, and the sport ball gets thrown some distance in anger, leaving a blooded handprint on it. So he paints a caricature face into the blood while it's still wet, and he names the sport ball Wilson. And from that moment on, he has a companion. He talks to Wilson. He even interprets replies from Wilson, who often judges him, and sometimes quite harshly. Over 4 years, Chuck has moved into a cave with Wilson. A section of the plane's interior panelling washes up. Chuck tries making it into a part of the raft that he's building, and one day he launches the raft with food and water and the single FedEx package, and of course, Wilson. And a storm occurs, and the following day, Chuck notices Wilson has gone. He hasn't gone far, floating some distance away in the ocean. Chuck swims after it, but unsuccessfully. He has to make the rest of the storm-damaged raft journey alone and exhausted. Tom Hanks was actually responsible for the seed of the idea, which would become the Castaway screenplay. And I'll quote, he said, "I was reading an article about FedEx, and I realised that 747s filled with packages fly across the Pacific 3 times a day. And I just thought, what happens if that goes down?" So that was Tom Hanks. And that became the seed of an idea. He then took that idea to writer William Broyles Jr., who wrote the screenplay for Apollo 13, also starring Tom Hanks, and director Robert Zemeckis. And over 6 years, the idea, very, very tortuously, became this screenplay. FedEx played a huge part in this film. The logo features prominently, and the CEO and other advisors helped out a lot. But no money was changed hands on that. At the early stages of the development, Tom Hanks and William Broyles Jr. saw the story as a comedy. Another part of the script development saw Wilson come alive and talk. Well, needless to say, that all got worked out. Broyles went to live on a survival camp to learn what kind of skills Chuck would have to develop to survive. Now, during this time at the survival camp, he found the sports ball washed up on the beach and just randomly conversed with it. And that experience found its way into the script, but they didn't realise what a major part it would become. There's no soundtrack music to the film. The instruction to sound designer Randy Tom was to score it with sound effects, and this worked very well. Tom Hanks had to put on weight to shoot the majority of the film. Then production shut down for a year while he lost weight and grew a beard. And Zemeckis used that intervening year with the same production crew to shoot another film, What Lies Beneath, which was also very successful. So time wasn't wasted. An ABC executive wanted to adapt the film into a television series. The idea for that didn't succeed, but it did spin off another series called Lost, which is where that came from. Test screenings showed that the film, Castaway, should have flopped. Test screenings were really, really bad and savage. Now Zemeckis doesn't believe in using test screenings. Castaway, 2000. Thank you very much. Have a very good day, everyone. Bye.